Hello, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time watching, my name is Matt, and I'm currently in the process of fixing up an old excavator. So if you saw the last video, you'll know that I got the valve block pulled out of the machine, and there was an alarming amount of water and other junk in the cylinders and the lines. So I think the plan for this video is going to be just to pull the valve block apart and see what's inside. Hopefully it's okay. Of course, I got to be careful about this thing not rolling off. So much nicer working inside. We got Charlie back with us. We got some nice heaters. It's about 60 degrees in here. I've been wanting to know what's under here ever since I bought this machine. Oh, the sensor for whatever this is. White and purple. Uh-huh. Got the rest of the lines there. If you're curious, there are 58 different openings into the valve block here. I mean, including these lines, this kind of stuff. There's a lot of holes on here. I was trying to find some cheap plugs to plug everything up. I found these on Amazon. These are just silicone, all different sizes, huge ones, medium, and then a small. Apparently these are used for powder coating, but they're, you know, they're all different sizes. I think these will work well for just stopping everything up, as long as they don't miss any holes. There we go. I probably should have bought like a tackle box to sort these. Perfect. Got everything plugged on the main one. Plug there, and I got them all underneath. I haven't done this thing yet. This is the shuttle valve, I think it's called. I think it's going to be better if I take this off, like this whole bracket, and then there's two bolts. Maybe I can get the engine stand to hold this up. There we go. Oh boy, this wants to fall over. Oh, that's not good. Uh-oh. Easy. That was dumb. Take this out here. Okay. Bear with me here for a second. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Now this thing's, it's free now, but I was getting a little bit complacent there. I think this is lighter than what I'm used to on the machine, but it still weighs more than I do. I think it's like 250 pounds or something. So not something I want to try to catch in midair if it rolls off here. So probably should have taken my time a little bit more. All right. Seems hazardous. So I use the steel toe in my boots. There we go. Make sure I've capped everything. These. That one's just deep in there. What was that? Oh, that's a broken off Allen bolt. That's not good. I'll figure that out in a sec here. Whoa! Need to tighten this up a little bit. This bolt's off of here. So this is off of here. There we go. It's better. You know, before I do this, I should probably take pictures of each side just to make sure, in case these zip ties blow off or something. It'd probably be good to have. Okay, I'm going to be using oven cleaner. A lot of people always suggest this, and I am aware of it. The deal with it is I'm really lazy, and you have to actually scrub it once it's on to get the big stuff off. But in my mind, I want to believe that there's a product out there where you can just spray it on and everything magically comes off. But it's dark over here. Lemon flavor. So yeah, with this stuff you gotta kind of wire brush it, but it does work pretty well. It's cheap. Actually, I don't know how much this was. I got this out of my kitchen. This might be the expensive stuff. Yeah, it's dirty. Okay, so we're gonna set it to all the way hot. Be a nice hot wash. There's just a lot of grease that's not coming off here, so it's really thick right here. Obviously, I'm going to do another round. The plugs are staying in. That's good. One thing I wish I had, but I'm too lazy to go back to the house to get, is that giant headlamp I had, which I got in that firewood video that I posted a while ago. That thing's like 10,000 lumens, and I think the biggest problem I have with pressure washing at night is you miss spots because you can't see. And you have to get the light just right on it. The bottom side is really clean, but I missed a ton of spots on the top. like right there. That's horrible. And then like all up in here. But I need to get this again. So I'm gonna get this all again, get it really, really clean, and much better. I've done my fair share of pressure washing at night in this channel, but wearing a headlamp, I don't know why I hadn't thought of that before, but it makes a huge difference to see every little spot that needs to get cleaned. So this thing is basically, you could eat off of it almost. So it looks like no water got in past these plugs, which is good. So I've done a little reading in the manual. So basically this right here is for the thumb or the aux circuit. This is the stick, boom, bucket. These two are travel motors, and then this is for the swing. So it's basically kind of linear. These are like the pilot housings. I think these are the relief valves. So it's pretty straightforward. It's just kind of the same thing replicated a few times. Okay, I'm going to be following the manual mostly. There's actually two sections here. So there's the 4 section, which is the 4 circuits, and then the 3 section over here. And you're supposed to start by taking it apart. Like you can see, they're bolted together, and there are O-rings between them apparently, which I'll probably want to replace. But I think for now I want to focus on the 4 section, specifically the boom, because that's where all the water and crap was in the circuit. So let's take... Oh. Uh-oh. That's water. Hopefully that was just from the pressure washing. Okay. There you go. Ooh. That looks good. I guess. I actually don't know. There we go. I'm going to do the boom last. So those were the variable compensated pressure valves. Now I'm going to remove the holding valve. Ooh, there's some water in there. This one has hydraulic fluid in it. Okay, next up is the pilot housing, and to get to this bolt, I need to get this off. Ooh, this is gonna be, is that water? Okay, that was all water. That's good. Okay. Put this fitting back in. So these, I think you have to disassemble the lower pilot housing to pull these out. It's gonna get messy. Anything gonna fall out of here? Should probably check. Yep. Springs are gonna fall out. Yep. Oh, there goes one. What was that from? There. Oh. All right. Just keep track of where these came from. My worry is like spinning this thing over and a bunch of stuff just falls out into a pile and I have no idea what it goes to. There we go. So this is the lower pilot housing, apparently. I don't know much about hydraulics, but I do know that usually these are like fit for each individual cylinder and you can't really mess them up. So I want to make sure I don't lose track. So I got these zip ties. Actually, a subscriber, Wendy, sent these to me. You can put a label on them. In case the label falls off, another thing I do is I do the colors of the rainbow. So red, orange, yellow, green, starting from the front. So now I can kind of, in case the label falls off, just extra protection since it is kind of critical, probably. All right. I think these are supposed to be tight. There we go. There we go. So this is the bucket. I'll clean it up better, but it looks okay, I think. Oh. I mean, at first glance, it looks okay. There's definitely wear on it, but it's not like rusted or pitted or anything. Well, to my untrained eye, it looks okay. I could probably run the borescope in here, that might help. Okay, these are the load sensing shuttle valves. The inside of these are all threaded. The manual says it's M8, but it's not. It's M6 fine. I don't have an M6 fine, but I do have M6 fine taps. So here we are. Nope, that worked. Actually, I can see right through there, and that's just flat. Maybe I can just pop these out from the other side. Yeah. Yeah, these are the relief valves on the top. Uh-oh. I see a little bit of junk in there. There's like rust flakes, but nothing's really rusty. Ooh, look at all the stuff in there though. That one's really, this is the boom, oh yeah. That's the boom one. I missed these before. There we go. This is the plunger for the holding valve. There we go. A lot of rust on here, but man, I bet you this rust is going to clean right up. These all look a lot better than the other relief valves. Not sure what this is. There's just like, you can see there's just gunk piled up at the exits here. That's not good. There we go. The O-ring is crispy. Whatever I said this weighed, I think it was 250 pounds. And this is more than half of it. And there's no way I've stripped off more than about 20 pounds worth of crap off of it. So I want to move the engine mount so it mounts here. And then maybe I can pull this thing off without killing myself. Whoa! That was unexpected. This thing's right in the way. Of course. There we go. There we go. Oh my gosh. So this is pretty much just going to be a repeat of the 4-section valve, assuming it doesn't fall off of here. That's a big assumption. All right. Am I missing? Oh. The other ones came off with the case. Oh, the springs in here. And this is the housing that's only held on by 3 bolts because one snapped off. This fluid looks pretty good though. Oh yeah. Well, these come out a lot easier. Actually, I should probably label them first. I don't have indigo and violet to complete the rainbow, but I guess I'll go white and black. Fortunately, I am recording this. This is... So I'm expecting water here because those 2 plugs are missing when I was pressure washing. Now these come out a lot easier. Look at all that junk on here. So I think this is the main relief valve. A lot of junk in there. Is this thing done? I don't know what that is. Take it off. Another thing full of junk. Okay, last thing is breaking this in half. Actually, it's supposed to be the first thing if you're following the manual, but there we go. See how heavy this thing is? Ooh, not too heavy. Okay, well, I think that's it. So this is the boom cylinder right there. You can see all that rust in there. But I think it's gonna just clean up. I'm gonna get a borescope down here in a second and all these just to see. I really think this is just because of that wiper seal on the boom cylinders was completely broken open and water was getting in there and it was ending up in there. I mean, this is obviously the worst circuit. There's a little bit of water everywhere else, but it's like the further away you get from the boom circuit, the better it got. Like for instance, the travel motors looked really good, and a lot of the pilot lines look really good too. That's pretty much as far as I'm going to take this down right now. I still am going to have to take the fittings off and replace all those O-rings, but I'll kind of do that when I get closer to being done. So over here, since I'd never done this before, and this is basically like a piece of alien technology to me, I was very disciplined as far as how I took it apart. So this is like the order I took things off from start to finish, and then this is also facing towards the front of the valve block. So this is the 4 valve section, this is the 3 valve section. I have no worries about it as far as putting this back together. It's really not that bad. I don't know how it looks, but it's really not that bad. I also have the parts diagram, and I've kind of got the, I went through here and highlighted all the stuff I need to replace. It's like 8 pages of this. This is not that bad to get back together, I don't think. I haven't done it yet, but I feel like it's not going to be bad. What we want to do now is look inside of these bores all the way down and make sure we don't have a problem. From what I've read, these are basically, they are fit to the bore, and you can't just go and buy a new spool. It's like a machining thing to do it right. And so if there's a problem with one of these bores, this entire thing is junk. All right. Yeah, maybe this won't be too helpful. I mean, there's definitely wear there. And then what is that? Is that rust on the... All right, so this is the boom one, which is going to be the worst. What is that right there? That might just be dirt. And that doesn't look good. Yeah, we do have some light surface rust there. It's not really focusing too well, but you can see it. So, yeah. I mean, yep, that one's the same. Some cross hatching there, you can see that. There's like a ring. That might clean up though. This is going to be the worst one, right? Because this is the boom. Let's look at a different one. Oh, okay, well. Look clean in there. Yep. Ooh, what's that? Is that a crack? Nah. So by far the boom is the worst, kind of as expected. Let's see if I can get a good picture here. It's right there. It's not like horrible. You can't catch a fingernail on it. You don't even really feel it at all. Yeah, right here. This is like the worst spot. I've looked through all these. This is the worst spot. This might clean up though. I can't feel that with my finger, but that does not look good. Obviously you have a ring all the way around it from where water's been sitting. Can you clean that up? Okay, I just took a piece of gray Scotch-Brite and kind of just gently went over the inside of these two bores. I think it looks a little better. Let's see how it looks here. There's still like a couple spots, but I don't know. I think that right there looks fine to me. Down to the next one. This is where it was really bad. Maybe I didn't get the lower one as good as I did the top one. I mean, that right there doesn't look good. It's not. It would help if this thing would focus. Yeah, I mean, that looks a little bit better. Bad spot there. Yeah, so this is by far the worst one. I've been through all 7, but I don't really know what to do yet. I don't have a plan. I'm kind of thinking, part of me just says it's fine just to run it, and I think it actually might be, but I need to think about it some more. I mean, you got to kind of weigh, like if I get a new valve block, it's probably, if I can even find one, it's going to be really expensive to get, and then it might have the same problem as this one or worse. And you know, maybe this is okay. Maybe it'll work okay, and I won't even notice a problem with it. I mean, this is not going to be an everyday machine. It's just going to be like a farm machine. So I'll have to think about it for a while. I'm not going to stress about it too much. And if you have any ideas or advice, let me know. I don't think you can, I mean, you obviously can't grind these down at all. I don't think you want to remove any material out of it. So whatever's there, as long as it's smoothed down, there's no burrs, I think that's probably what you want to do. But all right, next up we got the, what is that called? Solenoid valve. Wonder how good this is for these plastic electrical connectors. I was all ready to take this thing apart, and then I kind of started leafing through the directions here. And it has directions on how to take it apart, but then it says, do not tear down the solenoid valve as it is not a type to be repaired by reassembly. So I don't know if that means, well, then it has directions on how to tear down the solenoid valve, right? And then put it back in. And someone was telling me not to take this apart because it's really hard to get back together. So I don't know, I think maybe I'll do a little bit more research first, but maybe I should just pull these fittings off and see if I can flush it out and then leave all the valves in. So if I guess it looks okay in here, then I'm not going to stress about it. And that doesn't look good. Some rust on that spring. Oh, okay, there's that. Whatever that is. Uh-oh. This one was already loose. I must have loosened it before. There's a little bit of milky fluid in there. I haven't seen any dirt though. Yeah, so maybe I should just leave this alone for now. That thing that the guy told me about not touching it, and then that note in the directions is kind of scaring me out of it. I think maybe I can just flush it out. I don't really see any dirt in it. There's just a little bit of milky fluid. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave. I'll do a little bit more research, but for now, let's just leave that. I am gonna go ahead and order all the O-rings for this. I think between O-rings and backup rings, that was like 97, and that doesn't include any of the O-rings for like the fittings or the O-ring face seals. Like that's probably another 50 or 60. So there's a lot of stuff to get for that. So to be honest, it's about what I was expecting to be inside of here. I'm glad I tore it down now instead of waiting another year, because it only would have gotten worse. I never really showed close-up of some of this stuff. Like the spools looked okay, I think. I mean, you can see there's some rust like on here, but I don't think that matters. That's not the machine part. And the machine surfaces all looked pretty good, in my opinion. At least as good as you'd expect. So I think that's fine. And then there was a lot of junk in this kind of stuff. I'm not going to take any of this stuff apart until it's time to put everything back together though, because it's a lot easier to rebuild like one thing at a time instead of doing it all at once, obviously. So this is all just going to stay. It's all covered in oil. It'll be fine until it's ready to go back together. Okay, well that's it for this video. Hopefully it was entertaining to watch. It was actually a lot of fun to do this. I'd never done something like this before. It wasn't really that bad, but it's a nice challenge. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I gotta go to work.